Hi, I'm Ari.
I'm Ari,
And I'm Ari.
and you're listening to the AAA podcast.
Today we're talking about the Casey Anthony case. So, Casey Anthony was the mother to Caylee Anthony, who was born August 9th, 2005, and was murdered in like June-ish. I would say before that,
June
actually.
16th.
Yeah, June 16th.
Yeah,
Yeah, June 16th, she was
Oh no, that's
technically
when she was 5 off.
yeah, that's when she when she officially went missing, and she was reported literally a month later. Well, by
right.
a day
So
off.
like what? June,
Yeah.
June, June was when they found. Well,
No,
I'm trying
no,
to see.
June is the day she went missing, but no one knew she was missing because her mom was lying.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
December
so
11th. No, December 20th was when it was confirmed.
yeah, when it was confirmed that she died, it was December 19th actually,
Yeah.
technically.
Oh my god, that's my birthday.
Uh
No.
Okay, so basically on the July 15th, she went missing, and basically this was what a argument between Casey, who is Kaylee's mom. She had a huge falling out with her parents, her basic Kaylee and Kaylee's grandparents. Kaylee's grandparents.
Right.
They had a huge falling out on Father's Day, of all days. And speaking of Father's Day, Kaylee doesn't have a dad. Like she obviously has a dad, but there were two possible people that could be her dad,
Right.
which
Oh
we'll
wow.
explain
We
later.
knew one. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew one of them, but the other one was never disclosed. But we know of two people, but that'll be explained later. So basically, Casey Anthony had the falling out and took her daughter with her, and literally, her daughter was never seen again. Like after she took her, she was never seen again.
And
Mm,
let's just talk about how she lies about everything. So
Literally.
Casey Anthony is
yeah.
known for being a pathological liar. Like, I mean, she would lie about the smallest things that were just unnecessary. Like, they'd
Right.
say, "Hey, did you do this?" Or say like she broke something. She'd lie and say no when she literally had evidence that she
Literally,
did. Like,
Right.
she literally lied about having a job. Like
What?
that baffles me.
yeah.
You're an
So
adult lying about having a job.
right. So her parents, Kaylee's grandparents, were under the impression that Casey was working at Universal Studios. Well,
Mm.
come to find out, months later, when she's now being investigated for reasons, um, she admits that she actually never had that job.
Well, in
Right.
reading, she had a job at Universal Studios, but it was as a vendor, not
Yeah, it
a.
was like
She
2
told
years
them.
before this case.
Right, exactly. She told them that she worked as an event coordinator, but she worked as a vendor 2 years before.
Wow, that's crazy. The video that I saw is actually said that she had like never even worked there at all. Like, so the police basically like, they're investigating her or whatever, and they take her to Universal Studios, and they're like, okay, well at this point the police actually know that she's lying and that she doesn't work there or she doesn't have the job title that she says she has. But
Mhm.
they take her there to, just put her on the spot, see like what she's gonna do, and she's like, okay, yeah, I'll totally take you to my boss. So she's walking around acting like she's looking for a boss, and then all of a sudden she just stops, turns around and says, "Yeah, I don't work here."
What in the
Like,
No,
world?
what?
because literally, okay, before we even get into the meat and potatoes of this story, we have to start with the timeline. We literally have to we
Right,
have to
right.
start
Really,
from the
really,
beginning.
really, really.
So basically, Kaylee goes missing in on June 16th, 2008, and basically this is in Orlando. This is in Orlando with her grandparents, and her mother takes her. Her mother like literally just drives off with her, and so 31 days pass, and no one has had any contact with either of them. Right?
But
Hmm.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so basically the reason they even like sparked an interest in it, the grandparents did, is because the family car, like the
Right.
family car was gone, and like he basically he tracked it down, found it had been impounded, and he found out about it.
Right.
And so he
Because
goes,
they
no,
they had allowed
say what you say.
Casey, yeah, they had allowed Casey, they allowed Casey to use the car because she didn't have a car, and obviously she has a kid that she needs to transport. So where she's transporting Kaylee, supposedly because she's a liar, she's
Right.
supposedly taking her to her nanny, named Zanny, and her real name is Zanita Gonzalez, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they
Mhm.
call her Zanny the nanny, and
What type?
apparently,
First of all, what type of made up name is
no, for
Zanny the
real.
nanny? Like,
And like I'll bring up the theories later, like once we finish the story. But the theories behind Zanny the nanny is crazy. But apparently, this nanny is being paid for by her coworker, and that's already a red flag because
why would your
whose
coworker pay for your
coworker
nanner
exactly?
nanny?
Why would they pay
Nanny.
for your why would they pay for your childcare? Like childcare is
Right.
expensive. This person doesn't even know you like that. They just work with you and they're gonna pay for it. Yeah, that doesn't make
Exactly.
sense. So
Right.
apparently that's what she's transporting her and the car runs out of gas. So she just abandons it and then it gets impounded. So obviously since she doesn't own the car, they call the owner, which is her dad, and that's when he goes and picks it up.
But you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Her dad was a police officer.
What?
Wow.
I
Her
I
did
da-
didn't see that
not
part.
know that.
her dad was a police officer, and that's why he could like smell like the
Yeah, and that's
decomposition.
also why he wasn't blind to the fact of what really happened, which obviously we
Right.
won't get into. But
When
yeah,
he
Mhm.
found the car, he literally, as soon as he opened it, he was overwhelmed with the smell of remains.
yeah,
After
Right.
after like there was a trash bag removed from the trunk.
yeah.
And
Which the
that's when her
mother,
mom, yeah, that's when her mom called the police that day and was like, "It smells like there's been a dead body in the beep car."
but the
Wow.
mother is the one who decided to remove the remains. Like, well, okay, she removes the trash bag, but I'm thinking in my head like, if you just got a car that was abandoned and smells disgusting,
Like
and then you
literal
find a
dead
black trash,
bodies.
yes, and then you find a black trash bag in the trunk, just gonna toss it out thinking it's trash?
Right,
It smelled like a
exactly.
dead body enough to
Exactly.
be in a black trash
Especially
bag.
knowing that your granddaughter is missing
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
that your daughter's a pathological liar.
Literally. And then
Like
why else would she abandon the car? Why did she just abandon the car if she needed to be transporting her daughter?
exactly. Like she
It
has a
just doesn't
kid
make
with her.
sense.
Like
Her mom was
literally.
very, very, very ignorant in that situation.
Hmm.
So after they still haven't found her daughter. So
Right.
basically, Casey's just lying her butt off. Like she's lying about everything, saying that she has the nanny, that the nanny took her daughter and has had her daughter for 31 days. So
Right.
Right.
basically, all of these lies are leading investigators to make an arrest on Casey.
Exactly. And then
Hmm.
let's also not forget the fact that her story keeps changing. Like
Right.
she'll say
Exactly.
It's
that
never consistent.
yeah, like she'll say that her daughter drowned or her daughter wandered off or like whatever the case may
Yeah,
be.
I saw that.
And
I
she'll
saw
say that
that.
yeah, then she'll say that like Zanny, she okay, this one that I heard was that she met Zanny in the park, um, to
Which
like
makes
take
no
her
sense. Why
daughter.
would you trust a
Why,
stranger?
why are you meeting the
Exactly.
babysitter? I don't know, that's just weird. So she meets the babysitter in the park and and apparently Zanny like takes Kaylee and then she starts pushing Casey away and he's like, no, 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 she's mine now. I'm taking your daughter and you're not
That
getting
is
her back until her birthday.
that's absolutely outrageous.
If a
Right.
kidnapper is taking your kid, they're not giving it back
Why
Exactly.
you
on their
gonna let her take?
birthday.
First of
Like
all,
unless it's ransom.
I don't
Yeah,
have a child, and I'm literally not even old enough to have a child. But I'm saying if someone were to do that to my child, I'm not just gonna stand there and let them take my kid.
right. But
Exactly.
clearly,
If
this
you
lady
just
is
pushing
not in
me,
her right mind. I mean, clearly
Right.
insane. She's lying about the dumbest things. Like, but honestly,
right.
I wouldn't even, me as a grandparent, I wouldn't trust my child to have my grandchild in their care, knowing they lie about the dumbest things. What else are they going to lie about if they lie about small things?
Right.
Like, come on now. Come on. It's crazy.
No, because literally, hold on. Um, I I can't. Ugh, it's so hard to fathom that she would just one lie about it, two not have any evidence to back up her lie, and then just keep changing it.
Yeah, but then
Right.
evidence to back up the fact. So let's just keep on going with this story. So, obviously, like the police are suspicious of her, and like I said, they do like the interview about her job and blah blah blah. So, I think this is when they arrest her for that because she lied to the
Yeah,
police just to get her in custody and stuff, and then
yeah,
investigate her some
yeah.
more.
Because on July 22nd, she's declared as a person of interest.
Right.
Hmm.
And then they're doing digging and stuff like that. I think this is when they start to begin talking, more so with the parents and then this is when you start seeing the mom story change up. So they're
Yes.
investigating her, and at first
Because
the
she's
first
getting,
911
feels like she's being
call,
closed in on.
right? Oh, this is the part I left out. Okay, so the night that she called 911, um, she's there with Casey because she had actually went to Casey, and Casey was with her boyfriend, who was believed to be the baby dad. I mean, the baby's father. Turned
The
out
baby daddy.
that was not the baby daddy. That was not.
Yeah,
So
I saw that. And it basically, that's just leading me more to believe that the car accident that the other guy got into, that has to be her dad. And even the mom of the guy that got in the car accident, she said that Caylee looked like, as a baby, Caylee looked like her son as a baby, which is crazy
yeah,
to me.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I and
Thinking of this woman, thinking that she's a pathological liar, and if she didn't want to have a child with this man, who's saying that she didn't cause this car accident? Like,
no,
Right.
yeah. But then the boyfriend had actually proposed to
yeah, she was
Casey.
actually his fiance.
Yeah, and I think they were saying like you could get a vibe that she knew that he really wasn't the dad.
Yeah,
But yeah. So basically the mom what's her name? What is the mom's name? Cindy?
Casey. Or
No, no,
wait,
no, the
Casey's mom?
grandma. Yeah.
Cindy.
Cindy, yeah, okay. All these C names. So
Cindy and George.
so Cindy, right. So Cindy goes over and she finds Casey, and she's like, there's a bunch of drug paraphernalia, blah blah blah. So now she's like talking to Casey and like I guess embarrassing her in front of her boyfriend and his friends. Such a typical like that's embarrassing. But so she's like, where's your daughter? Where's Caylee? Like, blah, 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 blah. So she
Right.
takes her, she's like, we're going home, we're calling the police, whatever, she's missing. So she
Right,
calls
because
the police.
she's literally, that's the first red flag. Why your kid is
You're not
missing and you're not
paranoid.
caring? Like,
You're not caring at all. Like, you don't, she's like, oh, she's with Zanny. Who is
yeah,
Zanny?
no. Who, like, and the fact that no one in the entire family, no one knows a Zanny, no one knows a
Exactly.
Zaneta, like no one knows who this
Yeah.
nanny is.
That's
I think
Like,
the
crazy.
craziest
she's a
part,
real person.
yeah. But the craziest part is when they went to investigate the apartment, it was completely vacant. Like apparently where the nanny lives, there was
Right?
nothing
Yeah.
there
They
Right.
said
at
that
all.
the landlord literally said that no one had lived there since March, so it wasn't adding
Right.
up. It was like,
Right.
who is this Zanny person? Like, are you making this person up?
Right.
But
So okay,
crazy thing is, Zanny is a real person. Zaneta, forgot her.
right,
What's her last name?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez. Yeah, she's a real person. But when the police investigated her and they started questioning her, she said she had no idea who these people were.
Yes, and they actually showed her to Casey, and Casey said, "No, I don't recognize her." Meaning she
That's
literally like
absolutely crazy.
it's crazy. It's like she just googled this name and was like, "Oh, that's Zanny. That's who
Right.
Zanny's gonna be today." Because I'm a liar and I
No.
make up everything in my
So
own little
going
world.
going back to the person of interest and the bond hearing, basically they put Casey that she was being held on minor charges, but the judge was disturbed. Therefore, he put her on a bond of $500,000.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the craziest part of this, because Casey's free. She's free right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
But
basically,
let's talk about the moms, like how her story starts changing up, and it's weird. It's like this is hereditary, like they're lying because then you're
right.
starting to see the mom lie because the first okay, she made like I want to say two or three calls that night, to 911. So the first call was like, um, the car smelled like a dead body, blah blah blah. Like I'm demanding to speak to an officer, or whatever. Then so Casey has an older brother. She Cindy overhears Casey telling her brother that whatever like Zanny had kidnapped her or whatever. So that's when Cindy calls the police back and she's like, "Oh, it's actually been a kidnapping. Like we need to put out like a missing persons report, blah blah blah." So, things are changing. There's new facts, if that's what you want to call
Yeah.
it.
Like
Lies.
I would not call them facts. I would just call them statements.
Right.
Literally, because nothing coming out of this lady's mouth is a fact at this point. And
Right.
then, they're investigating her and they're like, well, that night that you said that it smelled like a dead body. She's like, no, 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 no. Had to have been the rotting pizza in the back with the bag that I threw out and
What
blah blah
rotting
blah blah
pizza? How do
blah.
you know that there was a rotting pizza in there?
Exactly. So I guess there was a pizza box, but I'm like, there's no way rotting pizza smells exactly like a dead body. Like,
Right.
if you
Right.
said dead
No
body and
way.
so did your
There's
husband, who's
right.
a police officer,
There's a
come on now.
blatant line of difference, and pizza and a dead body do not correlate. like
No,
Right.
like
It
what?
just doesn't.
like
Like
even
who
if you
would
don't know what
even believe that? Like who are you trying to fool?
Right.
Apparently the jury, and it worked. But anyways, so then we get to oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought.
to the bond, the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Logan Padilla, he announced that he had paid the bond off, the $500,000, with hope that Casey would lead them to Caylee. And so after he does this, the bond is rescinded. He gets her out. She's out, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when he tried to talk to her, she would not cooperate at all.
Who is this? Who is this person? I haven't heard about
The
it.
bounty hunter. So this bounty hunter, this like he's infamous. Basically, he
Uh-huh.
bailed her out, and she's not talking to him.
Wow. And you know, she
Mm.
got bailed out twice because her parents also bailed her out for 500,000 for other charges. I want to say like I'm not sure. It was definitely for something. I'm not sure what it was. But okay, so the investigation. So this is how they, found out they got more evidence. The car, of course. So they're
Mhm.
investigating the car, and they're like, "Well, you said it was a dead body, and now you're changing your story. So if you said it was a dead body, let's just investigate that first. It was your
Yeah.
instinct. That's what you said." So they get a dog, who's trained to smell dead bodies or whatever. And of course, when he gets to the car, he immediately goes to the trunk, and he's going crazy. Like
Yeah.
that's literally where she found the remains. So they open the trunk, and they're starting to see like staining on it,
Right.
and
So
then
was it
that's
a
when
pizza
they
box now? Was it a pizza box
Right.
now,
literally,
Cindy?
what is it? Grease? Is it grease from the
Is it
decomposing
grease from the
pizza box?
pizza?
So so that's when they're starting to like test it. So they test the carpet, and they notice that it is like stains from like something that was decomposing, and they also notice that the stains are like shaped like a smaller body. And then also
Mhm.
in this investigation, they notice a strand of hair. So
Yeah.
they tested it
And
with the
what's crazy,
mitochondria.
and it's not even the fact that they just found a piece of hair. The hair matched almost identically with the hair that was on one of Kaylee's hairbrushes.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Mm.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
they
know that.
also found traces. They found traces of chloroform, big traces of chloroform.
Yes. And they also found it in the search history, how to make chloroform in the search history of their family computer.
Yeah.
And they knew that it had to have been at the time that like Casey was there, like at the house.
Mhm.
So they test the strand of hair, and they noticed that it's too short to be Casey's, and then it's untreated, so it can't be Cindy's.
Because it
And
was
they knew it.
yeah, and also they could tell that the hair was in the stages of decomposition.
Yeah, because there was a
Oh wow.
decomposition band that forms when like a body starts to decompose.
Yep.
So that's how they knew it had to have been like a body that was decomposing. So who else? It has to be baby Caylee. So yeah, it's just a really crazy story. Then
Also,
remains are found and stuff
right.
like that.
And she's still lying about everything. But the
Right.
craziest thing is she basically when they lost my train of thought. When after they found all of this stuff, she's still lying, blah blah blah. They find the hair, find everything. They still haven't found her body yet. They still have not found her body. We
Yeah.
basically at this point, no one's admitting it, but everyone knows she's dead from all of this
Yeah.
evidence.
I mean,
And
obviously, it
Mhm.
has to be.
right, she wasn't even charged. Well, she was charged with first degree murder, but the charge got dropped.
Right.
No, really, I actually saw that she wasn't. I saw that. Okay, so the jury, like, okay, so obviously they go to trial, and then this is when she starts lying even more. But this time, she's lying on her dad. This poor man, like, he's
Mm.
already taking it hard because he was like, he wrote like a suicide letter. He
Right.
was
I'm
like,
pretty sure he tried to commit.
he did, he definitely did. I think with
All
maybe
the
like
media
drugs or
Huh?
attention. It's all the
something.
media attention.
Yeah,
She
and
ended
then
up she ended up getting charges for aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter, and 4 counts of providing false information to law, but no first degree murder,
yeah,
which
I
I think
saw
is
the four
absolutely
counts.
crazy.
And she actually only got $1,000 in fines, and then 1 year of county jail for the charges for lying to the police. And it's crazy because I'm like, you have all this evidence, and this jury sat there and deliberated for 10 hours and thought, oh no, she's definitely not guilty. There was
Right.
evidence of Kaylee's dead body in her trunk.
And
She was using the car. But
right.
the
And
thing is,
speaking of Kaylee's dead body, 5 months later, this took 5 months to find her remains, and they didn't know
and
for certain until they did tests. But they found the
and the
skeletal remains of a
crazy
young
thing
girl
is, the
on December
crazier thing
11th.
is, this the remains were reported 3 times by the same
Literally
exact man.
by the
3 times.
neighbor,
Yeah, it took them
and no
three
one was
times.
listening. No one
This
was listening
man,
to him.
this man reported that he saw like a skull and that they needed to come check it out. They didn't take him serious. Then he saw it again and he walked up closer and he was like, "No, this is definitely a dead body." He caught him again, and then it took the third time, and then this is when they realized that they definitely had a murder like on their hands, and that obviously like they need to check this out. This could be this person's body, and that's when they wanted to take this man serious. Like you could have been ahead of this and like on top of this way sooner, and this little girl
Right.
could have been, like put to rest sooner than that. And it's just crazy, and it's like
Right.
who knows how long her remains were really
To
out there
put it
because she was hiding it for so long.
Yeah, to put it into
Right.
perspective, the skeletal remains were officially discovered, like quote unquote officially, on December 11th, which is the winter. He tried to convince them in the summer,
Yeah, that's
Oh wow.
that's crazy.
but
It's really sad.
eventually, like 9 days later, they're confirmed to be Kaylee's, and it was ruled a homicide of undetermined means.
I
And
just
there was
feel
there
like
was
Undetermined.
there was duct tape around her
her skull.
Yeah,
her
I heard
mouth
about
and
that.
nose. It was all over her head,
Yeah,
and it it the state of decomposition was literally preventing investigators from pinpointing an exact
yeah,
cause and date of death. So they don't know the cause or when she died,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they said that there's like no trauma to the body or nothing. So like they don't even know.
which is absolutely crazy to me.
And then the way that Casey tried to flip it on her dad, like she said that her dad had like molested her when she was younger, and like this is all
Right.
in the middle of the trial, so he's sitting in the courtroom knowing she's lying.
She's
So I
basically a
feel
pick
like
me murderer, a pick me
no,
murderer.
Mhm.
and I feel like that's the reason why like the jury found her not guilty, even though literally anybody knows she's guilty. But that's the reason
Right.
why they found her not guilty because like she tried to like tried to blame any and everybody that she could. But y'all really want to know the crazy part?
What?
She was actually having relations with her lawyer.
That
She
is
could
What?
yes, and I mean like sexual relations at that. Like it's crazy. I'm like, what? Like
That's mad
But in
weird.
the end, July 5th, 2011. This is years after Kaylee is like she's been dead. This is years after the trial started.
right.
Right.
Casey is found guilty of not guilty of murder. With 400 pieces of evidence presented in court,
It makes
not found
no
Right.
guilty.
sense. It makes no sense.
She
And
she literally got sentenced to time that she had already served. A 4-year
and
sentence and a $4,000 fine for murder.
And I heard that she got like got out of jail after a month.
She did. She got out of jail on
yeah,
July 17th, 2011.
That's
because of
crazy.
like
And
the
she's out right now.
behavior and blah blah blah. Yeah, and she's made like interviews and everything. And I'm like, you
Yeah,
should
I think she
really
got a
be
show.
ashamed of yourself.
Right. She
Like
needs to be ashamed of
like
herself.
honestly, your child, like your own baby, like but for what reason? Like if you didn't want your
Exactly, because you got
child,
in an argument.
your parents wanted her more than you. They wanted to take care of her better than you did. Like I don't
Right.
understand what the reason was. Like, if you wanted to party and do drugs and
You should have
whatever,
left her with your
okay,
parents.
exactly. Give her a better
Exactly.
life. And now she has no justice. Like this poor child who deserves so much better
Right.
has.
She thought her mother loved her. She
Yeah,
she thought her mom loved her. She's only 2, but that's when the bonds form. That's when the bonds start forming
Right.
in your early ages, and you literally
yeah.
killed your child. Like I
I
cannot
mean,
even
this
fathom
innocent baby, and I don't even. Yeah, I don't even want to fathom like the
the
way it
fear.
happened. Yeah, like the moment for this little like innocent child who's like, my mommy loves me, like,
Right, because in a baby's eyes, you're like, wait, why are you hurting me? Like,
right.
Right.
And
That's
at
so
mommy,
crazy.
why
the
is
crazy
mommy
thing
hitting
is
me?
they may not even understand, like, she could have made this like a game, like, look, we're gonna go play in the field or whatever. Like, you just never know. Like, oh my
Right.
gosh,
Right.
it's
Yeah, you can
so
think of it
sad.
that way, or she's just a cold-blooded killer and didn't even do that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But
yeah.
that
I mean, that way
that
too.
it's
And that's just
absolutely
freaking
crazy.
crazy. Like, it's
And she's free. She's
ooh,
literally free to this day, living her
yeah,
best life.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
And
she
her
didn't
show
do
came out last
anything.
year.
Right. But
Like, it's
that
crazy.
that was basically a rundown of the Casey Anthony case. If you want to see more, anything we didn't discuss, it's everywhere. It's one of the biggest cases. It's everywhere. It
Yeah.
happened in 2008. You can look it up, Casey Anthony case, and a lot will pop up.
I'll tell you guys a really good
Mhm.
true crime person that I like to listen to. Where I got my information was Bailey Sarian on YouTube. I freaking love her. There's definitely like articles and other videos too, though. But yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
can really just find. I would definitely dig deeper. I mean, just look at the evidence. It's like it's mind blowing how someone can get away
Yeah.
with this. Like, I mean, it's cold blooded murder. Like, it's the facts are there. I don't understand.
But
It's crazy.
that was the episode for the day. We release 3 episodes a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So stay tuned for that. And
Yeah, definitely come back.
this yep, definitely come
Mhm.
back 100%. If you're on Spotify, follow us. We're
Yeah.
gonna end up having a YouTube channel, so when we do that, we'll let you guys know you should subscribe. And that was the
Yeah.
Casey Anthony case.
Thanks for
Yeah.
listening, guys.
Thank you
Make
for
sure you guys
listening. This was
definitely come back
Triple
for next
A.
week. Definitely come back next
Yes, yes, we have something in store for Monday because we're going to talk about a movie or a book, whatever one we choose.
week. Right.
Yep.
And yep, we'll see. This was the
Yeah.
Triple A podcast. Thank you for listening, and
And
bye.
tune in next time.
Yep, next time.